Welcome everybody to Waterbox Live here on Thursday afternoon.
Yes, yes.
If you haven't done so already, smash the like button.
Waiting. We had a lot of people saying to drop kick the like button.
Yeah, you
today.
can drop kick it.
So,
you could just take your phone and then kick it across the room.
and then you're not watching us because your phone's broken, so we don't suggest that one.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
But either way, like the stream.
Yes, helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the notification bell because we're live twice a week right now.
Yep, and super exciting today is we're doing pretty much an all Q&A.
Yeah.
Large reefs, Reef LX, all the kind of questions you have. It's your time to just, I know a lot of times on our streams there's so many questions, we don't have time to get to them. So this one is dedicated to you guys. Start posting them. Keenan will be pulling them as we go and asking as many as we can. But it's still about the LX.
It is.
So we have our giveaway that still goes along with that.
$100 gift card.
Yep, $100 gift card. We're doing Living Reef. Yep, Living Reef shirt giving away today. And then we do have a coupon code from Living Reef also going on. So 10% off of all livestock. This is corals and inverts. They ship all over the United States. Use code WBLX320 at checkout. Gorgeous stuff. They are the ones that have put all of the corals and fish into the LX. And if you watch the past videos, some beautiful stuff, and you can also find all that on our giveaway page.
Yeah, take advantage of that code. I highly, highly suggest it. If you guys don't know, if you're new to us on this series, we're giving away a Reef LX at the end of this series.
Boom.
So you can head over to waterboxaquariums.com/huge. It's real easy to sign up. This page is going to give you all the details on the whole giveaway, the whole series as well, but you're going to put some information in, and then there's a ton of ways that you can get more entries and more chances to win there. And we're going to give you every week during the series a bonus entry code at some random point during the stream that gets you 10 extra entries, so keep an eye out for that today.
Yep, and you continue going down. It's going to show you all the episodes we've done so far. Great resource for just planning a large reef aquarium.
Yeah.
Kind of guiding you through. It really can relate to any size aquarium. You've got your coupon code there again, and a nice, beautiful list and pictures of the corals that have gone in here. And you can even go to Living Reef's website, and you will see that there is a Reef LX tab that has a lot of these corals available for sale now.
Yeah, so you can go and buy the corals that are in the Reef LX. That's pretty cool.
I'm sure if they don't have them, you can reach out to them. They can get you a package together of the same stuff we have. They're amazing over there. Alex and Anna are the best. So, definitely check them out. If you're anywhere close to Central Florida, go to their store. It's beautiful. Definitely worth checking out.
Cool. And again, today's a Q&A. Post your questions below. You got questions about the Reef LX, large reef tanks, water box, Stacy, post them below.
I don't even know what to say back to that. Anyone who doesn't know, I'm now Stacy because I have dark hair.
Yes.
I dyed it, and
Jess
things
has
went.
left the building.
Yeah, things went much darker than planned, so I'm officially now Stacy. You can still follow me at Jess at Waterbox, though.
We're gonna have to change that, though, I think.
No, I'm not living a new life, man.
I'm kidding.
So we've got a lot going on with the Reef LX.
Yeah.
We've added quite a few bit of corals. The fish that have been in there for a while. Everyone's happy. We did an episode recently on feeding and nutrition. We've got one coming up that's going to be about dosing and setting up a Versa doser. There's a lot of good stuff still coming on this build, but I know there's a lot of questions out there, and I think we're even going to take a look at the tank a little bit up close.
Yeah, for sure.
As well.
You want to start now?
Yep. Ooh, so pretty.
There you go. Crystal clear today, too.
Yep. So everything is, it's just beautiful in this aquarium. And you see there's still a lot of room to go as far as corals and stuff. And you see it's starting to fill in, like those war corals are starting to encrustle into the rock around them. The star polyp little corner, there's our Goniopora archway. I mean, everything's super happy, and the clowns just love to be in the Gonioporas, if we like it or not. So the corals that are in there, they're definitely have established well. A lot of them are starting to grow and spread out.
Yeah, this tank's going to be beautiful in like a year from now. It's just going to be all filled in,
Yeah. we're definitely going to make sure that like it's full of coral, but there's plenty of space for everything to grow in. So it's not, you jam pack it too tight and then everything fights. We got a little zoo garden going on there with about 6 different types of zoos, a little mushroom area. You got Yumas and Rhodactis. Kind of did a different than usual of grouping a lot of corals together.
I love that.
And I think it's turned out really neat, just for like some of the soft corals so they can all grow in together and they stay towards the bottom.
Yeah.
Not going to be as obtrusive to some of the other types of chalices and things we have. You can see, the mango's mad. Oh, got the cleaner shrimp. So we have like 4 or 5 cleaner shrimp in there, and they have little stations, and it's so cool because the fish will go up there whenever they want to get cleaned, of scales, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'll see them just go up to the cleaner shrimp and just hang out in the cave and wait to get cleaned off. And then our anomaly group of 4 clownfish in there.
So bizarre.
They've lived through many different tanks together, and they're very happy, the 4 of them. 2 black and white Ocellaris, and then 2 regular ones. And these are the clowns of yours that are what?
Yeah, I've had those Ocellaris, I think, probably since like 2010 or 11, something like that.
Very nice.
So
they're getting up there.
I have my fish for a long time.
Mango's been around for a long time too. Everyone knows Mango. That's the blonde name. So I've had her for a while. Beautiful little gold tip torch.
It's a nice torch.
Yeah. And you can see your branching star polyps in the back.
Of course.
I have them in 2 spots for you.
I love
they
it.
can grow up and nice. And those are such a cool coral.
That's a cool shot.
That is. So you can see the tank. It's doing awesome. And, you know, check out our past episodes. It's going to have a lot of good guidance to let you set up a very large reef aquarium with very little question, like unknowns, because we've taken it very step by step.
Yeah,
in the whole process.
Yeah, to get from A to Z to get to the point that you guys see this tank today. We walk you through
all
the whole thing,
documented.
hours of content to show you how to get there, from the delivery all the way to this point.
Yeah. So, if we're gonna start any questions.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Again, you guys, today's a Q&A. We're not going over any specific topic. If you have questions, drop them below in the comments. Most importantly, throw an elbow at the like button. Helps us out a lot. You want to take that one?
Emma? All right.
Great start.
Sorry. Can you guys show more freshwater 7225 or LX setups all the way down to the sump setup? Also, will you guys ever provide filter rollers? So we don't have any large freshwater systems set up now. Mm-hmm. You know, we're going to show the LX a little bit more up close in this episode. You'll be able to see the sump area. It's going to be a little bit different, of course, for freshwater. We do have big plans for freshwater in the making. It's just we don't have them set up yet. We haven't had a build on it. You can look back a while, I don't know.
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago, it was 2.5,
ago.
3 years ago. And there is a 6-foot peninsula that we did as a freshwater. So search back in YouTube, you'll be able to find that one. But we will have some updated ones.
Yeah, we have plans here in this studio. We have a whole area for freshwater, so we're going to go just as much detail as we went into these marine tanks. We're going to do it on the freshwater as well.
Yes. So looking forward to that. We'll do all different sizes of freshwater coming up. And for filter rollers, we do not. I prefer filter socks. I know there are preferences for filter rollers. Everyone has their own opinion. I've always done filter socks, and I think they're the easiest and most efficient. So
it's the most common way to, have filtration, that mechanical filtration in the sump. So there are people that modify our sumps, etc., but you kind of have to go figure that out yourself.
Yeah.
Cody says, I need to know what needs to go in the sump of a large reef, like what equipment?
Just a quick rundown. You're gonna have return pump, auto top off, protein skimmer, reactor, and that's your baseline. Of course, a heater of equipment. You can go back a couple episodes. I think it's the 4th, episode 4, and that is planning equipment for a large reef. And we do a big breakdown of like how to pick a skimmer, how to pick which power heads you want, which reactor, things to look for. So it's a really good information there. But that's your general equipment that's going to be down there. And we'll show you also what is under the sump in here as well. Chris says, how often do people realistically do water changes on large reefs? Big reef or small reef, it's still the same. You need your water changes. It replenishes a lot of trace and micro and macro elements that you can't necessarily dose. and it removes nutrients. So I think, I mean, for us, even on the large reef, it's still every 2 weeks I try to do a water change. And on small tanks, it's about the same. Some nanos you can sometimes do like once a week. But I mean, size doesn't matter necessarily because you still need things from your salt mix that are valuable to the aquarium that you can't just dose in usually.
Yeah. And in regards to water changes, Chris, make it easy and convenient to do them. Otherwise, you won't.
Yes.
You know, take time, go look back at some of our videos on how we set up the water vats and the RODI systems. Make it real easy on yourself to do them so that when you go to do them, it doesn't take very long. It's not very...
Yeah, you need some kind of automated setup, trash cans, water vats, something that your RO can constantly keep full, an easy way to pump to and from your tank. If you're on a large tank like this and you're trying to lug buckets or whatever of water back and forth, you're going to hate it and you're not going to do it. It's going to be very difficult. So automate as much as possible.
Yeah, think about that early on when you're planning the system.
Tushar says, can the Reef LX be used in a freshwater setup? Is there anything special that needs to be done to support such setup? All of our sump systems work great for freshwater. You can actually go on our user group on Facebook, and you'll see a ton of people that use sump systems for freshwater. Gives you more filtration, especially in freshwater. You can make a really cool looking sump and actually have plants and stuff down there. And you don't have as much equipment that's down there, but it's still going to be better filtration and turnover, especially in bigger, heavier load aquariums, to have the socks and just a bigger sump area and more flow. So most definitely.
There's even some Reef LXs I know going out right now. They're going to freshwater customers too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Keep an eye out on the group. I'm sure they'll post them.
They're great choice.
Not going to try to read that. What size hard plumbing did you use for the return? 3/4?
Should be 1 inch.
1 inch?
I think so.
I did it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. 1 inch. Yeah, it's 1 inch.
Pretty sure it's 1 inch. 3/4 is pretty small.
Yeah, one cool thing I want to mention about the LX, so we did hard plumb the return line, is that the Reef LX models come with like a soft pipe that you can, which all of our systems come with.
Yeah.
But we also include an adapter if you want to plumb your own hard line into the return.
Yeah, it makes it really easy so that you can kind of, in a big system, a lot of times people are going to want a hard plumb, and it gives you that option to do it flawlessly. You don't have to worry about the bulkhead and stuff. It's just a new fitting, and you just go right to hard
it adapts. It's not metric. It adapts right to standard U.S. plumbing. So.
Yeah, definitely a nice feature.
Yeah.
Rachel says, can you turn an all-in-one into a tank with a sump? Technically, yes. Is it probably a lot more work than it's worth? Yes. So you'd either have to drill the aquarium, which is very risky in general, and then plumb it to and from and figure out how to make sure it works appropriately and not going to back drain or siphon incorrectly. Or it would be to try and fit an overflow box into the filtration area to then go down to a sump. So possible, yes, but I would look into just upgrading into something that has a sump and is drilled appropriately for it, because your plumbing is going to be better, the flow is going to be better, it's going to drain and return the best way that it should. Keep your all-in-one for something else, sell it, whatever, but upgrade into a fully functional sump system, and you're going to be a lot happier in the long run.
For sure. Chris says, would it be tough to run an SPS tank in a larger all-in-one like a Waterbox Peninsula 80?
Anything's possible. I do think SPS systems are best in sumped units, just because you do need that bigger skimmer. It's best to have a reactor. You need more flow for them.
More water volume.
More water volume. Yeah. I think SPS is one of those out of the norm ones that, mixed reef softies, great in all-in-ones. They flourish, but I feel like SPS honestly should be done in a sump system unless you're very, very expertise in keeping SPS and you just want to do something different.
Right. I mean, I've seen...
there's beautiful Cube 20s out there.
Yeah, so I was just going to say.
SPS.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like the larger you go, I think the harder it would be to keep that as well.
Yeah, they're just much less forgiving than other corals, so you need to make sure that you have everything in line. And again, if there's professionals, like you said, that keep SPS in a 20 cube, and they look amazing, but
it's not the norm.
Right in the line.
Yes.
With that,
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Like 20 times.
Okay. Chase says, what do you use to clean the glass? It's so pretty and clean. I mean, I think it's just upkeep with it is not letting it get so dirty that you have to like clean it really hard. So every day or two I try to go with the magnet and just use like the felt side and just wipe it. Use the scraper side only if you need for the harder types of algae, or along the sand bed as well for the blade side. Be very careful, don't get any sand in it. Don't leave your magnet in the aquarium when you're not cleaning it, because buildup can occur and then that's gonna scratch your aquarium. For the outside, I use like a microfiber towel.
Oh.
And wipe off any water drops. Then you use a new one to wipe away any like fingerprints or smears. Like use two different towels, one to get the main stuff off, and then the second one is like a polisher to get all of it off.
I want to reiterate, don't leave your magnet in the tank. I did that in the past and I learned the hard way.
Yes.
And I think that we've had, I mean, I would assume, because we have customers complaining sometimes that their magnet may have scraped. That's a big thing to look for. Don't leave it in there. When you're done with it, take it out. You know, put a towel in between it, or
put it somewhere safe too, because if you have a blade on it, you don't want to rest it on something that could bend your blade. If your blade on your magnet cleaner is bent, it could scratch your glass. So change it regularly, keep an eye on it, check that it's perfect before you use it, and never leave it in the aquarium when you're not using it.
Yeah, glass scratches.
Does,
It's not
no matter
indestructible.
what.
You know, a lot of people think that glass is like extremely durable, but it does scratch. It doesn't scratch as easy as acrylic does, but it does scratch. So if you want to be really extra careful, take those steps.
Yep.
Let me. Adrien says, for a Frag 105.3, do you think that an AI, I guess a Prime 16 or a Prime is enough for or is XR15 necessary for a mixed reef with little SPS? So a Prime or XR15?
Definitely not a prime. Prime is too small for that size. I think at minimum you would go hydras for that, and you would be fine. 105.4. Yeah, so hydras at minimum. I would not do primes on that size tank. They don't have the coverage, their intensity, and XR15s. I feel are always a better option, but you're going to pay a whole bunch more. Well, I don't know, like a Hydra 32 and XR15, probably not too far off in price.
Not too far.
So first choice is going to be the XR. Second choice is Hydras. Don't do primes.
Yeah.
Silverado. What is the biggest challenge to owning a larger tank? I feel that it is keeping up with maintenance if you don't automate it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Or just filling it.
Yeah.
You know, just enough fish and corals to eventually fill it. It's a long-term
It requires
process.
more of everything.
It does.
You know.
Yeah. What do you think is the hardest part?
Hardest part, I agree with you, automation, but it's I think on the water change end, because like the general maintenance stuff is pretty easy. It's just a larger tank. But on the water change side, the biggest thing that I've noticed with large aquariums is, I said it earlier, is having a system that makes water changes easy.
Yes.
You know, an easy way to get the water out of the tank and back in the tank, you know, just like we have here with the water vats.
Yeah,
you know?
so basically to give you an idea here is we have an RODI unit that keeps a freshwater vat full of about 175 gallons, and then connected to that is a vat that we mix salt water in. All I do is turn some valves, and you can see this on a past episode, kind of shows you how we do it. That will move fresh water into the saltwater vat. Then I'm just dumping salt in. The pump can then be made to circulate the salt water and mix it. Water changes for this here, we have a hose that reaches from the back to here. It's about a 75-foot hose. So I use just like a bottom draw pump it to our utility sink. I just put the pump in, turn it on, go about doing whatever else I need to do, keep an eye on where it needs to drop to. Once that's done, then I just hook to the saltwater vat, pump it back up, go about doing what I need to do. Once it's full, you turn it back on.
Yep.
I do nothing but dump salt into a vat and move some hoses around.
Yeah.
And then it's very efficient. There's no lugging anything. I mean, the rare case, I would guess if you need to like siphon the sand, it might be a little bit different, but it's an awesome process.
You could go a little bit further than that even to, like if, for instance, a good example is Reef Dudes. That's a YouTube channel if you want to look it up. He uses the Versa to do automated water changes.
Yes, he does. He uses
so if you want to go
controller.
real far, you know, get even more automated, you can do that. It's just another option.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming.
Scott Ball says, should you put snails or crabs in your sump?
No, not unless.
I think we talked about that yesterday.
We did. We had the similar question yesterday. There isn't a need for them to be down there unless you have a refugium area, I guess. But in general, no, because they're going to get into a skimmer pump and possibly clog and break your skimmer pump. They can make it to your return pump. They're just not necessary if you don't have a refugium, you don't have a light down there. So it shouldn't really have algae or stuff that you need. If you have enough flow going through in a properly designed sump, you shouldn't have much debris settling in it. Now, if you have a refugium, that's different. You do have usually some kind of cleanup crew keeping that area clean because you are putting light on it.
Thank you, Scott. Again, we're going to get to as many questions as we can today.
We got tons of questions coming.
Yeah,
I see
so
that.
I guess I was going to encourage more. Maybe I don't need to.
Oh, this is me? Yeah. Connecticut Coast Media. Do you recommend using Powerhead wave makers or the cross flow pump style? We use VorTechs. I think that they're the best because they come in multiple sizes, but they can sync, anti-sync. You can control it from your phone on the Mobius. They've got probably the most variety as far as flow patterns and intelligence to them. And they're very realistic in their flow. And the motor's on the outside, so you don't have any cords in there. There's no heat going into them, to the water for them. I feel that those are your best option. So I guess those would be like a Powerhead wave maker, right? I don't know what cross flow pump style would be.
Cross flow pump style. Powerhead wave makers. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe just like a static, like a pump that's not variable
just add each
or
other.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, always go with whatever is the most controllable and has the most wave functions, and I find that to be the VorTechs.
Yeah, for sure. Nero's a good option too.
I'm debating whether to do this one out there, but it's come up a couple times, so I'm just going to hint it out here.
Jim says, can we start the Blue Friday hype yet? Not yet, Jim.
Nope.
But do keep an eye out for that. It should be an exciting year.
Not yet.
Yeah, it should be an exciting year.
Yeah. All right, Yassir says, how long do you guys mix salt water for, and can you use one big mix for multiple water changes? It does depend on the type of salt, so whatever you use, do check on what the mixing recommendations are. So we currently are using Tropic Marin, and it does allow you to mix it and keep it for a while, but every brand is going to be different, so some of them will be detrimental if you mix it and store it for too long, or mix it and don't keep it aerated, all of those. So definitely consult the brand of salt that you use.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't already, smash that like button. Helps us out a lot. Trina says, would upgrading from a 5-gallon tank to large tank over 100 gallons be too much for a beginner aquarium? Should I gradually upgrade to be better? That's a big jump, but the 5 gallons is probably way more difficult than the 100 gallon.
I was about to say, if you've successfully done your 5-gallon and kept the corals thriving, the maintenance and stuff on it, 100 gallons is gonna be a breeze.
Yeah.
Because the small of that tank is extremely susceptible to swings and issues and problems. So if you've actually managed it successfully, you've got all the knowledge to take that into a bigger, basically easier setup.
And I guess the underlying question would be, is that freshwater or saltwater? But I think either way, it's the same answer.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Let's go ahead to the bonus word, so I can take
All
a
right.
break and pick some words.
All right, so we're gonna drop the bonus word. We can enter this in on the website for some more entries into the giveaway. Are we ready?
Go.
Bonus word. Large aquariums.
Well, isn't that fitting? Enter that in.
So creative.
Yes. And get your extra bonus points. I don't know if you want to. Do we still want to go show the LX real quick?
Yeah, can we take a look at the tank?
Give you a little
live,
break
too?
from questions, gather some more.
Go ahead and show it.
All right. First, we're going to give you a rundown of our LX.
So if you guys don't know, if you're just tuning into the series or if you've been tuning in, the tank that we're highlighting in this series is our Reef LX. The model that you're looking at right now specifically is the 320.7. We released this line of aquarium back in November of 2020, It is a really unique system because it's from 190 gallons all the way up to 320. The 320 gallons, 7 feet long, which makes it one of the largest production systems in the world. Really beautiful. This one has actually a 30 millimeter bottom, so it's actually a double 15 millimeter pane of Starfire glass, which is pretty cool. What's unique about the Reef LX throughout our lineup is the cabinetry comes fully assembled. And what's unique about that cabinetry is it's all aluminum framed. So.
Might be a little dark.
Yeah, it might be a little hard to see, but it's fully framed out in aluminum, fully assembled as well when you get this. So it's definitely one of our cooler stands.
Can you flip a light on? You good?
Yeah, you can turn the light on. You can
light
kind of
here,
see
guys.
there, this sump is massive. The sump's I think it's about 4 feet long, isn't it, Jess?
Yeah, it's huge. It's
Massive.
sleeping
So we have the NYOS 300 skimmer in there, which is a beast. 2 pumps on that thing. You can see what we were talking about earlier with the plumbing line too, which we hard lined in. We don't do that on our other systems typically, but with this one we include an adapter that goes from our metric plumbing down to a standard US plumbing. So we were actually able to put a pretty cool like blue piping on there with the Vectra, I think Vectra L2?
Mm-hmm.
L2?
Yep.
Okay. Big ATO reservoir off on the left side. For me, that's a must-have. When we first started designing water boxes, I was like, we got to have big ATO chambers.
Yeah, hate popping off.
Yeah. Put an electronic ATO in there. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to keep your system much more stable as well. I want to mention too, along with aluminum cabinet being fully assembled, this is the only cabinet that we have that we use what we call super wood. It's a composite, plastic composites, fire retardant, completely waterproof, really cool. So it's a different material than we use on all our other stands. We also have a really cool feature over here, which is a.
It looks orange because I have the blue filter on.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Not orange in real life. All right.
So this is a door that comes off. It just pops right off, and now you have your controller board in here. So you can keep all your EcoTech drivers, maybe you got dosing pumps, maybe you got power strips, whatever it may be, go right in here. You got easy access right behind them to the cords. So that's a unique feature. This controller panel also can be flipped. So you can have it on the left side of the tank or the right side of the tank, depending on what your room configuration is. Just pops right back on there. It's kind of like a little removable side to hide your equipment. Trying to think of what else, Jess.
We're using the Radion XR30s blues.
Yep.
2 MP60 VorTech Powerheads. And as you see in the bottom, we got the Ultimate ATO from XP Aqua, Skimmer reactor pump, and heaters. And that's really all the equipment that we need to run on here.
I do want to mention we did go with 4 XR30s because we're going to load this thing down with corals. So
yeah, there's only 100%
this
cover.
3 XR30s is plenty on this particular tank.
Call it need to overkill, like on things.
Yeah. MP60s, 2 of them. So again, Reef LX, really beautiful system. Definitely our most luxurious water box for
Nice
sure.
up close look on that. Yeah, I mean, we haven't shown kind of an update on the sump and all that stuff in a while on that one, so you can kind of visually see what we've got going on. And that's, I mean, we keep it very simple.
Yeah, I love highlighting that system because this thing's been planned for since the water box's inception.
Yes, yeah.
And we
just takes a while.
Yeah, we finally got to release it last November, so that's one of the reasons I love just going through all the features on that. It's a really unique system.
It is absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy. All right. I think we'll be going back to some questions.
If you guys have questions, put them below. If you haven't already, smash that like button. It is the currency to win our $100 gift card t-shirt today.
Yep, $100 gift card and a Living Reef t-shirt will be given away. I think we're going to try and take a few more questions.
Yep.
I think. I don't know what they're doing over there.
I do want to mention, guys, we're not live next week at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that again.
I'm, unfortunately, just me. I'm going out of town for a little vacation, but we do have some videos that will be dropping next week that you want to keep an eye out for.
Yes.
So if you're looking to do some binge watching on some cool Waterbox content, keep an eye. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so that you get notified when those drop.
Yep, so you see those next week, and then we'll probably do just like a little check-in on the LX, let you guys watch it for a while. And then I do believe we will still try and get you your bonus for next week as well, even though we don't have the live. But we'll be back full schedule the following week.
Yep.
With the tank, just kind of be happy. You know, I'm still here though. I
Yeah.
can take care of it.
Yeah. Somebody's got to watch after the animals.
Yep. All right, what are we doing here?
Can you reach that?
Oh, just pull some questions here.
Yeah, I got you ready for the shirt.
Oh, okay.
We're going to give away the shirt.
I guess we are. All right. All right, we're giving away a Living Reef shirt, and we got it for the winner is...
Drum roll. TYBO.
TYBO. Congratulations. Email winners@waterboxaquariums.com. They will get you all hooked up with your shirt. Remember, we do still have a $100 gift card that we are giving away, so stay tuned for that. And pull some questions out of here. Hannah says, what is the recommended dosing system? We use currently on the Frag 105.4, which is our all SBS system, a Versa from EcoTech. I do like that one. We will also be putting a Versa onto the LX. It was actually going to be this week, but it got kind of messed up in transit. So it did not arrive here in time for me to install it and kind of do a whole episode on dosing and setting that up. So that will be coming probably after our break. We'll go back to that. But Versa all the way, because it goes in with Mobius, which our VorTechs go into, the lights are connected to, the Vector is, so it all just gives a really nice platform to use all of it together.
Keenan, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball your way. Can we go over the Adventures of Gary?
Yeah, just switch soon.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't need the graphics, just the website, but yeah, just let me know whenever you're ready for that. I just thought that would be cool.
If you missed it yesterday, you don't want to miss this because it's going to be a whole bunch of fun.
I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Gary is. We got a pretty cool contest going around that.
Yes, so let's see if we have anything. Chase says, do you have any nano tanks set up in the office? So here at the studio, it depends on what you call nano, but we do have a Peninsula Mini 25 in one of the offices. And then we have a Cube 20, but as of right now, those are our smallest tanks that we have set up. And at our main office, there is, I think, a Peninsula Mini 15 set up as well. So a couple little ones set around, but most of them not studio tanks. Most of the studio tanks are bigger, but we will be doing builds on some smaller ones.
Yeah.
And like, once again, watch out for some videos being dropped next week.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Adventures of Gary. There you go.
There you go. So guys, we're doing a really fun photo contest with Gary. If you don't know who Gary is, he's a gigantic, ridiculously gigantic Trocus snail, ginormous, that we have here in our tanks that came from ORA. So head over to waterboxaquariums.com/Gary. You're going to be able to download a little cutout image of him and then, Photoshop him into his adventures.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. And we're giving away a special swag bag to the winner of this photo contest. So just head over again, waterboxaquariums.com/Gary. There's a couple examples there of him hanging out with a sea turtle, going into space.
Don't you see? He went on the rocket.
He went up with SpaceX yesterday
Civilian
as well.
in space, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see the result of this. If you don't already, check out our Wednesday show. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are revisiting with the ORA build that we did. It's a full aquacultured ORA system, fish and corals and all that. We just upgraded it to the sump system, Peninsula 4820. Don't want to miss it. We're going to have some cool stuff coming for that one. And we love ORA, so their stuff is awesome. It's a great build to follow if you don't already.
For sure.
We've got a couple more questions coming up,
Okay.
and then we'll do the winner.
Okay, cool. Spencer says, do you guys dose pods? I don't currently, but there might be something going on with the refugium soon where you'll see that happening. Currently in our tanks, I do not. Naturally, they have come in and have grown their populations. I don't have any major pod eaters except for one mandarin who came from the 220.
Yeah.
And he goes into our tanks that have the best pod population.
Where's he right now, in the frag?
He's in the frag right now.
Okay.
And he'll probably go over to the 6-foot frag, really whenever needed. And then as the LX gets the refugium and all that, he will then ultimately live in the LX. He's been with us for, oh my God, when he's been around for probably 3 years.
Yeah.
He does eat
Very
frozen
early.
food and pellets as well. So he's got that going for him also, and it's really easy to spot feed him in the frag.
Big boy too.
But
Big
there's
boy,
no
boy,
harm in
boy.
dosing pods. Absolutely. When you get a tank, set it up, dose pods, it's natural food. They reproduce and feed your corals. They feed your fish. It's a great addition.
Cool. Cody says, how do I keep sand clean from algae as well as hair algae? I want my sand white, no bad algae on the rocks. How do you guys do that?
Flow, 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 and the proper invert. So we keep the flow pretty good so you don't have dead spots, you don't have detritus and food settling on the sand. And then we keep a mix of cucumbers, conchs, Nassarius, and Ceres snails for the most part to keep your sand bed clean. But to keep your nutrients down so the algae doesn't want to grow, and then good flow, proper inverts.
Yeah, don't underestimate the need for some good inverts to keep your sand bed
Yeah,
clean.
absolutely. Spencer says, how do you guys know where to drop the water to when doing water changes? So what I always recommend is the first time you do a water change is have something, it depends on whatever size tank you're doing it, have something to drain into that you know the size, and it could be 5-gallon buckets, it can be a brute trash can that's a certain amount. However, is judge, that way you can say, I need to take out 15 gallons if that's my 20% that I want to do every 2 weeks, or 10%. And once you drop it to that, in your measured buckets, take some kind of tape or a little something that marks an inconspicuous part of the aquarium at that level. And from that point on, you do not have to do it into anything but a sink out your door, because you just drain to that line, you know you've done 15 gallons. You can even do like 5, 10, 15, 20, make all your marks. So it's like you can choose any amount that you want.
Yeah.
But just take the first time, measure it all, and then you won't have to worry about it. This is me.
Yeah.
Rob says, what is the best macroalgae for reducing phosphates? If that doesn't lower it enough, what's the next option? If you have a refugium, you're using macroalgae, Chaeto, Kaido, whatever you want to call it. What do you call it?
Cheeto?
Cheeto? Cheeto,
That was
Cheeto,
different than both the ones you
Cheeto,
said.
Cheeto, and Kaido, whatever you'd like to call it.
I'd love to know how it's actually pronounced. It's like Kaidomorpha or
Kaidomorpha,
something.
so I
Something
guess
like
Kaido,
that.
Cheeto? Would you call it Kaido
Do
then?
you guys know? I don't know.
I've said it every way for like the last 18 years. Like it depends on what mood you hit me. I just call it something different. I think that's the best. It grows really well in a refugium. It doesn't attach to anything. It's not invasive. Chlorpra is common, but it is like banned in a lot of places because it does overtake. It can
End up
spawn
in your
into your
display.
aquarium,
Yeah.
and it has roots and it will grow like crazy. It's hard to get rid of. I think that's your best bet for that. Also, using a phosphate remover is always recommended. A lot of times you can't fully rely on algae to keep your phosphates at the right level, depending. So don't be worried about using a GFO or similar phosphate remover.
Yeah, and you can keep those phosphates at bay by not overfeeding,
Yep.
feeding quality foods, doing your water changes,
Good
et cetera.
skimmer,
Yeah.
all of that.
Joseph said, if you add dosing pumps with the trace elements, do you reduce the need for water changes or to water change?
I don't know if there's a trace element that covers everything and how to dose it appropriately. But if you're dosing trace elements and you are confident that it is replenishing everything that your corals need, along with the calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium, you dose in amino acids, all of that, I'm sure, yes, you could reduce your water changes. But I don't know. I like good old-fashioned water changes because I know if you're using a good quality salt, you know that the levels are where it should be for the corals, so when you replenish regularly. But if you can do it with all the different other additives and you're confident, then yeah, I'm
There's
sure.
a lot of ways to find success in reef keeping specifically.
Yeah.
And we have our way that's always been successful, so we just don't deviate from it.
Yeah. But there's
And
a
that's
lot of
with
other
water
ways
changes.
to do it. Yeah.
Specifically to water changes. So.
Yep.
Last question.
Last question.
There's more coming, but
Yeah, about as many as we can get to in a show. Hannah says, we want a mandarin in the future. Should we start pods now? Yeah, you should. Yep, absolutely. If you don't have a refugium, you're going to need such a heavy population in your tank before you even get one. And depending on what size aquarium it is, it may not even be recommended. Get a refugium. If not, find a way to have safe areas for the pods to reproduce in your aquarium. If you don't have a refugium, you can make little rock rubble piles in the hidden areas, and it gives a spot for them to live and reproduce, at least some, without getting eaten. So it does have a lot of variables, but basically make your tank crawling with pods before you even put a mandarin in.
Yeah.
And keep that population of them going, because a lot of times they don't eat anything else. You do get lucky sometimes, and they'll eat frozen food or pellets, but they still need a huge pod population.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't notice till it's too late that they've been starving.
Yeah, and then it's hard to put weight back on them.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was a good set of questions.
Yeah, very good.
I feel like we could probably have a 5-hour Q&A.
Yeah, we could be here for a long time for sure. Probably as long as we really
We're gonna have to
wanted
try and get these in more often, like just to hit a lot of questions. Because on an average show, like it's hard for us to get to more than like 5 or 6. So maybe we'll see more of these popping up for you guys. But we do have a winner of a gift card. Yes?
Excellent.
All right. All right. Winner of the $100 gift card is Spencer Townsend. Congratulations.
Yep.
Email winners at waterboxaquariums.com. He did have a lot of good questions during the stream, so
Yeah.
very nice. And the currency for winning these gift cards and shirts is being active in the comments and
Smashing the like button.
smashing the like button.
Or gently grazing it, whatever you want to do. I see you guys do a lot of crazy stuff to it.
Yeah.
But the like button helps us out a lot. But most importantly, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications so that you guys know when we're live here.
Yep. And we won't be here next week, but we're still going to be dropping some videos. You'll still probably see us, doing some kind of streams.
Yeah.
So if you don't, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, subscribe in YouTube, just so you don't miss out on anything we are doing next week.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you in a few
Next
weeks. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications, and for more information on this series, visit waterboxaquariums.com/huge.
Tune in live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to learn about how you can get more entries to our Reef LX 190.4 giveaway.
Plus, we're giving away $100 gift cards every episode, but you have to be with us here live to win.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.